I am Rabbi Dan Selsberg from Beth Jacob Synagogue in Hamilton, Ontario. Shana Tova. Not everyone is able to make it in for Rosh Hashanah or for both days, so this is my day 2 Rosh Hashanah sermon for 5772, 2011. And it misses the grandeur of the sanctuary and of more formal dress and the assuredly hilarious side comments that come up over the course of an actual live performance, but it's a taste. It's 1/60th of what it's like to actually daven here. This is a sermon called Creation, Revelation, Redemption. It is a great honor to stand in front of you this year. It's every year, but for the past 3 years, I've asked for your support for a renovation renewal of Beth Jacob Synagogue. It was not just my dream, it was a goal that preceded my arrival here by more than 2 decades. As each generation of Hamilton's Jews desired to build on the legacy of our ancestors and help ensure a Jewish future for our children, grandchildren, and to be honest, the children of others who will arrive in Hamilton to continue the Jewish journey of their families. As others left a Jewish legacy for us, we set out to build a Jewish legacy for others, and we can say we have succeeded. The beauty of our new entrance, of our new Shabbat sanctuary, of the renewal of our building exceeds our hopes. And today, on the day Jews the world over celebrate as the birthday of the world, it is refreshing to reflect on the rebirth of this Kehillah Kedoshah, the sacred community. The birthday of the world is a strange but apt metaphor for Rosh Hashanah. My kids love it. Nothing is bigger in the life of a 7-year-old than birthdays. Asher and Sammy love their birthday. They start counting down to the next one, literally from the 51-week mark. And they celebrate Karen's and my birthdays with much more gusto than we do. And Eitan knows to love his birthday primarily because his brothers talk about it so much. So, the birthday of the world is a pretty big deal. We have birthday treats. We blow a celebratory shofar. I don't bother them with wondering about just what the birthday of the world is supposed to mean. The sages of old debated if it meant the anniversary of the first day of creation or the anniversary of the 6th day. Most say it's the anniversary of the 6th day, the day Adam was created. So it's really humanity's birthday and not the world's per se. With the kids, I don't complicate things by mentioning the Earth is estimated to be 4.5 billion years old. They'll stumble on that question soon enough, I'm sure. I don't want to end a child's sense of wonder at the miraculous too soon. God willing, they'll spend enough time as adults struggling to maintain a sense of wonder and of the miraculous. And that's a key point in development. There's great value in maintaining a sense of wonder and of the miraculous. Value not just dismissing everything that asserts the incredible as irrelevant nonsense. And there's value in having the ability to access wisdom from times and cultures different from our own. At the same time, it's hard to know how to develop that all-important skill of discernment. It's hard to do this. How do we teach the stories that are at the core of our identity as Jews and remain grounded in reality? How, then, do we understand the miraculous nature of creation, of Abraham's covenant with God, of Moses' staff and Miriam's well, the Exodus? How do we understand the lack of miraculous deliverance that defines the rest of Jewish history? Insight comes from understanding how the sages of old understood their world, a world where miracles were no more common than they are in our time, and significantly less common than in the days of Moses and Aaron, when they could make a shepherd's staff become a snake. The answer is found in one of Judaism's foundational texts in Pirkei Avot. There, the sages teach that 10 things were created just before Shabbat began, and here they are discussing just before the first Shabbat, on the 6th day of creation. You have the scene? The Torah famously describes the entire order of the world being created in 6 days, and God rests on the 7th. But God, like so many of us created in God's image, has left some things at the last minute. The sky and the water are in place, the sun and moon, land and vegetation, animals and humans. So if all is complete and all is good, what's left to create? The sages say that last minute of creation, God made the rainbow for Noah, the manna for the Israelites, the staff of Moses, the well of water for Miriam, the tablets for the 10 Commandments. The list goes on and includes everything miraculous we read about in the Torah. And one has to wonder what the point of this whole piece of background is for. Why tell us that what we thought were miracles were built into creation from the start? It seems that God was a lot more mighty when there were special miracles. Now, they've made miracles part of the natural order of creation, and God into a procrastinator who waited till the last minute for Shabbos for making up these things. And I think that's just their point. Miracles, the rabbis are telling us, are not outside the laws of nature. They're built into the laws of nature. God makes the rules, but does not suspend them, even when playing favorites. There are a few miraculous things built into the system God made: Moses' staff, Miriam's well, Noah's rainbow. But if there's nothing left on the list, from here on out, we are not to believe that nature's laws will be suspended on our behalf. Quite the contrary. Nature's laws are never suspended. The system that was in place by the time Shabbat arrived on the seventh day of creation does not change. What does any of this mean? Why even speak of miracles? Why speak of 7 days of creation in a scientific age when knowledge of a 4.5-billion-year-old Earth comes from miracle debunking science? Because our hearts and minds can speak the language of science, but that discipline is not the only means we use to learn about the world, and it is not the only way we learn about how to live lives worth meaning. Today, the book in your lap tells us it's the birthday of the world, the anniversary of creation. This is less a scientific or historic statement than it is a statement of possibility. The Midrash about the miraculous creations 5,772 years ago today teaches the power of the moment of creation, and by inference, of the difficulty of change after the die is already cast. During creation, however, anything is possible. That's why it's a bit heartening to learn that God, too, waited till the last minute to create something so amazing that we can only call it miraculous. And now is that time for us. And we stand in a place where we know that the possibility of transforming something miraculously is real. It's not mere rhetoric. Since we gathered here 1 year ago, we completed the incredible renovation of much of our building. The grand new entrance, the warmth and simplicity of the new upstairs sanctuary, the handicap accessibility we longed for, it is all done, with taste and with style and much more. And a congregation that not many years ago was dangerously sliding has new life. When we rededicated the sacred ground on January 8th, so many people came up to me and said they could not remember a more joyful day at Beth Jacob. And some of these people will say have been part of our shul for more than half of our 124 years. And as I said that day, one of my colleagues in Toronto described us as Mechayeh HaMetim, like the resurrection of the dead. And not so, I think, because giving life to the dead is a miracle par excellence. Here, there was nothing supernatural. A lot of people working very hard, a lot of people willingly donating their hard-earned money, a lot of people willingly donating their hard-earned, their valuable time to help give this holy congregation, this Kihila Kedoshah, a new home. It's miraculous in a way, but not in the wait around and God will save you sense. It was the result of people not taking decline as inevitable and of committing themselves to reinvention. Some of them, I think, surprised themselves with what they could do and with who they became. But, like the rabbis tell us of the miracles mentioned in the Torah, all of this was possible from the start. We just had to act to make it happen. And just like the story that the miracles in the Torah were built into the plan from the beginning, there is more built into this congregation than we have yet accomplished. Our physical renovation is just the beginning. We need to follow it with a spiritual reinvigoration as well. I'd say spiritual revival, but that makes people think about revival tents and not shuls. We have the opportunity to build something wonderful here. We've done it physically, now it's time to do it communally. But to do it, you have to be here. We are here to provide that opportunity for connection to something larger than yourself, and encouragement to become your best self. Of course, you can change your life any day of the year, sitting alone with your thoughts, but today you have a better chance, because today we have no need to act perfectly or superior. Today, we admit we make mistakes. We admit we need to change, and none of us are exempt. And the change will not happen by passively waiting for a miracle. It will only come by committing ourselves to make the change part of this moment. Just as the Midrash says, the Torah's miracles didn't just happen, but were the result of forethought and planning. Just like the changes that remade this building were the result of work by diverse people, the next step we must take will require planning and effort as well. At risk of worrying my employers, first, we must realize a key truth. Renovating the building was never my real goal. A nice building is a blessing, but in the end, it is just that, building. I care more about the human beings in the building. It's like a lovely home, a lovely shul can make a happy, thriving community more so. It can help us have more meaningful experiences and interactions. But if we do not step up to volunteer our time and spirit to make this place jump, then we have not fulfilled the promise of our capital campaign. I know that money is centrally important. Even the Torah says that if people don't contribute financially, communities cannot function. But we need more than just that. It's not something often requested, but we need to put our mouths where our money is. More of us have to lend support to the shul, not just financially, but in helping plan programs and attending programs and caring enough to make our cultural programs work and to make our sacred religious obligations real. Be here occasionally, if till now you're just rarely here. Be here regularly, if till now you're occasionally here. And when you are here, make yourself and make others feel at home. Yesterday, I spoke of the dark shadow, fear places in our lives. What goes on here helps dispel fear. If you fear illness, join the Chesed committee and visit the sick. If you fear loneliness, show up at Minyan every day. If you fear unstructured time, volunteer in the kitchen or in the office. If you fear insignificance, lend a sympathetic ear to someone who needs one. If you fear you are unappreciated, help us plan a special event. If you fear a loss of meaning, join us on Shabbat. It's through contact with others that fears lose their power. This is what shuls are for, to give us a third space where we can spend time and connect with people we otherwise wouldn't see, to connect with friends we love to see, to connect with our people, to connect with our God, and with ourselves. These mitzvot are not all or nothing propositions. What your doctor tells you about eating right and exercising applies to our shul and to the mitzvot as well. More is better than less, and some is a lot better than none. If we do not make Jewish life part of our lives, the Judaism that survived historical eras harder than this will die with us. Jewish thought and practice is too important to leave it be the exclusive sphere of our more fundamentalist brothers and sisters. We live in an era where the extremes gain ground, and the moderates are often in retreat. In religion, fundamentalist Islam is on the rise, fundamentalist Christianity is on the rise, and fundamentalist Judaism is on the rise as well. On the other side, secularism and those who identify with no larger group are increasing at a fast pace. I do not begrudge any of these groups their growth. I am more than happy to cooperate, or at least peacefully coexist with all of them. But I also think that the center must hold, and the center is right here. We are the people who can understand both the importance of ancient truths and modern blessings. We understand the comfort and power of the insights of our ancestors and the liberation and freedom that Western culture has brought. We are the essential bridge in a dividing world, and we can make it all live right here. We have a wonderful home for it. Now, I want you to join with me in making this community thrive. So come talk to me, or to Cindy, or Ira, or Hannah today. Drop us an email this week. There are lots of ways in. Find your way in. Build something wonderful. It will not take a miracle, but it does take planning and commitment in this moment of rebirth. Miracles don't just happen. Miracles change, miraculous change comes only when we work at it and build towards it. If we become so cynical that we think neither we nor others can change, we have abandoned the hope that lies at the core of Jewish thought. We can change, and this is the moment to make ourselves ready for that change. Take this Rosh Hashanah, this moment, just before the time of creation ends. Take the opportunity afforded by focus and the chance of renewal and change. I'll do the same. And together, we'll make this Rosh Hashanah a blessing to ourselves and transformative to our community. To build change into the structure of who we are in the year to come is true to the spirit of possibility and wondrous change from that first Rosh Hashanah. And together, we can change the future and make next year a more wonderful birthday celebration than we thought possible. Shana Tova, Tikateva V'Tikatemu. May you be inscribed and sealed for a year of health and fulfillment.